Good morning from Cerro de la Cruz here in Antigua, Guatemala. It's just about noon on Sunday, January 29th. And what you're seeing behind me is Volcán del Fuego, the fire volcano which looms over the city here in Antigua. And it's my first full day here in Guatemala. Everything so far has gone quite well. The weather is fantastic, although I'm a little bit out of breath from walking up this hill. Had the bright idea to do so, just to get a view of the city, and there's hundreds of other people around me here as well on this Sunday afternoon. But it's an absolutely amazing view, as you can see from behind me here with the volcano in the distance over the city. I'm about an hour from Guatemala City. Took a private taxi to get here. It was about $35 and it was uneventful. Some absolutely beautiful scenery on the drive in here. You come down into the valley when you approach Antigua, and it's just absolutely beautiful. We're much higher in elevation as well than in Guatemala City, so it's actually a bit cooler and there's fresh breezes. So all in all, it's a very pleasant Sunday afternoon here in Antigua. And yeah, it's been a very interesting day. First day here in Guatemala. The main thing that's been quite interesting to observe is the ongoing events and reaction to them in the United States with regards to President Trump's executive orders that he announced on Friday. And ironically enough, I was traveling yesterday, so I had absolutely no problem getting here as a U.S. citizen, both leaving the country and coming into Guatemala, but certainly it was quite a surreal trip, one of the most surreal, if not the most surreal trips I've ever had, in the sense of knowing what was going on back in the U.S. with folks trying to get into the U.S. and being detained at airports, and just watching all of the protests unfold both at Dulles International Airport, at JFK in New York, and many other places. So certainly been in touch and with events going on back in the U.S., and as I said on my Facebook post, it's certainly been quite disturbing to see what's been coming out of the U.S. in the last 2 days or so. So I'll just leave it at that. But I can tell you the reaction to what's been going on here, the reaction to what's been going on in the U.S. is certainly being felt here in Guatemala. A lot of folks are quite concerned about what President Trump is going to do next. There's a lot of anger about his executive order earlier in the week to build a wall on the border with the U.S. and Mexico. That's going to have very serious implications here in Guatemala, as well as in the rest of Central America, El Salvador and Honduras in particular. So folks are certainly paying attention to that. And there's just a real sense of fear, and there's a real sense of preoccupation about what's coming out of the White House here on the ground, and you certainly are hearing that in the streets. I've heard that from both of the taxi drivers I've had so far. Some of the folks I met at the gay bar last night were also talking about that as well. So there's a real concern about what's coming out of the White House here in Guatemala, and that certainly will continue. So that's the latest from here in Guatemala City, in Antigua. Here in Guatemala, it's about noon on Sunday, January 29th. I start my full day, my work for the Blade here tomorrow, interviewing activists and local officials and so forth. So stay tuned for that. I'll be posting updates on social media at MKLavers81 on Twitter, and also at Washblade on Twitter as well. And look for further updates on our website. So muchísimas gracias otra vez para escuchar mis updates desde aquí en Antigua, en el país de Guatemala. Y voy a poner más novedades, más puestos, más tweets, etcétera, en mis redes sociales. Y otra vez, muchísimas gracias por escuchar.